I'm 79 years old, and this morning I stood in the kitchen holding a mug of coffee I didn't really want, listening to the refrigerator hum in a house that felt too awake for how empty it was. My hands were shaking a little, not from fear, just from age. That was when it finally settled in. What actually mattered and how long it took me to understand it. I'm not telling this to sound wise. I don't feel wise. I feel late. I'm telling it because when you get to this age, you stop pretending you're going to say things later. Later becomes an idea, not a place. The mornings are the hardest now, not because of pain, though there's plenty of that, but because of the quiet. It's a particular kind of quiet that only comes when a life has already happened and moved on without you. Shua. I wake up before dawn most days, not because I'm rested, but because sleep doesn't hold me the way it used to. I sit on the edge of the bed and wait for my body to remember how to stand. The house creaks when it cools. I used to think it was settling. Now I think it's just talking to itself. There are photos on the walls. They didn't start out as decorations. They were just there one day. Faces from different decades. Smiles that belonged to people who were younger then. Some of them are gone. Some are alive, but distant enough that they exist mostly as memories. For most of my life, I believed understanding came with age, like a reward, that if you lived long enough, things would make sense. What I didn't know was that understanding comes when there's very little left to do with it. When I was younger, my 20s, 30s, even into my 40s, I didn't feel like I was missing anything. I felt necessary. I had a job that needed me, a family that depended on me, bills that didn't wait. I told myself this was what responsibility looked like. My days were predictable. Alarm clock before sunrise. Coffee gulped down too fast. A quick goodbye at the door. Traffic that never moved. Meetings that blended together. Lunch eaten without tasting it. Then home again, tired, distracted, already thinking about the next thing. I wasn't unhappy. That's important. I wasn't miserable or angry. I just assumed this was the price of a good life. You stayed busy now so you could relax later. You pushed through so things would be easier someday. I thought I had time to slow down, time to listen better, time to notice what was happening around me. I didn't think I was postponing my life. I thought I was building it. I remember coming home one evening and my daughter was sitting at the kitchen table with a piece of paper in front of her, a drawing she'd clearly worked hard on. She looked up when I walked in, waiting for me to look. I smiled, told her it was nice, and said I'd take a closer look after dinner, after I changed, after I checked one thing. I never did. That moment didn't feel important. It felt ordinary, a normal night, the kind you assume will happen again tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. That's how most of it went, not with arguments or slammed doors, just small moments delayed, conversations postponed. attention divided, affection shortened because I was tired. I told myself I was doing it for them, that the hours, the stress, the absence would eventually add up to something worthwhile, a better house, more security, fewer worries. I thought love showed itself through effort, but love doesn't live in effort alone. It lives in presence. And presence was the thing I kept trading away without realizing what it cost. The years passed quietly. The kids grew without asking permission. One day they didn't need help tying their shoes. Then they didn't want help at all. Their lives filled with friends and plans, and doors closed to their rooms. I told myself that was normal. My marriage changed the same way. No big fights, no clear breaking point, just fewer conversations that weren't about logistics. We talked about schedules, bills, repairs. We stopped talking about ourselves. I remember sitting next to my wife on the couch one night, both of us watching the same television, neither of us really watching. I wanted to say something meaningful, something that mattered. I didn't know how to start, so I said nothing. Silence became familiar, comfortable, even, or so I told myself. I kept thinking things would settle down eventually, that once the kids were grown, once work eased up, once we crossed some invisible finish line, we'd finally live the way we meant to. But life doesn't wait at the finish line. It happens while you're busy getting there. The cost didn't arrive all at once. It crept in. A school play I missed because of a meeting. A birthday call made late and rushed. A friend I meant to visit but never quite did. A parent I assumed would always be there. Then one day, they weren't. My father died on a Thursday. I had spoken to him a few days before. It was a short call. I was distracted. I told him I'd come by soon. He said that was fine. He always said that. I never made it. At his funeral, people talked about his patience, his kindness, the way he listened. I realized how little I actually knew about him as a person. I knew what he did for me. I didn't know who he was inside. That thought stayed with me longer than the grief. Years later, it was my wife who got sick. Not suddenly, slowly. A diagnosis that sounded manageable at first. Appointments, medications, adjustments to routines. I told myself we still had time to talk about everything later when things were less medical. One afternoon in the hospital, she was asleep. The room was quiet except for the machines. I sat there watching her breathe and saw, all at once, not just the woman she was, but all the moments I hadn't been fully present for. All the conversations replaced by schedules and obligations. She died holding my hand, and even then, my mind was full of things I wished I'd said earlier. That's when it finally became clear, not in a dramatic way, just a simple, heavy realization. You don't get clarity when it can still change things. You get it when all it can do is remind you of what's gone. After that, the world got smaller. Friends drifted away. Some passed on. Some stayed busy with their own lives. I didn't blame them. I'd done the same thing for years. The house felt too large, too quiet. I moved things around, not because it helped, but because I needed to feel like I was doing something, anything. People talk about legacy, about being remembered. Here's the truth as I know it now. Most of it are remembered far less than we imagine, and rarely for the reasons we expect. No one remembers how late I stayed at work. No one remembers the money I made. They remember moments, or they don't remember at all. That realization didn't make me angry. It made me sad in a quiet way, like realizing you've been speaking the wrong language your whole life. What actually matters isn't impressive. It doesn't look productive. It doesn't announce itself. It's sitting down when you're tired, listening without planning what you'll say next, showing up when there's nothing to gain. I didn't understand that when I was younger. I thought meaning was something you earned later after you proved yourself. I didn't realize it was happening all along, whether I was paying attention or not. There are things I can't fix now. Conversations that will never happen. Apologies that have nowhere to land. Hands I won't hold again. That isn't tragedy. It's just reality. If you're listening to this and you're younger than I am, I won't tell you what to do. I don't have that right. I can only tell you what I wish I'd understood. Being busy isn't the same as being needed. Providing isn't the same as loving. And someday is a dangerous word. People don't leave all at once. They drift away quietly when they don't feel seen. By the time you notice the distance, it's already wide. Success doesn't keep you company at night. Achievements don't sit with you when the house is silent. What matters is smaller than you think, and heavier. It's the sound of someone laughing in the next room. It's being known without having to explain yourself. It's the ordinary moments you don't bother to record because you assume they'll happen again. They don't always. I don't have much time left. I feel that now, in my body and in the way the days move. I try to be present, even if there's less to be present for. Some evenings I sit by the window and watch the light fade, thinking about all the times I rushed past moments like this, convinced they were empty. They weren't empty. I was just somewhere else. If this meant something to you, you don't have to say anything. Just notice the people around you a little more carefully. That's enough. As for me, I'm not looking for redemption. I'm just telling the truth while I still can.